Greetings dear traders, and you're watching the daily market review with me, financial analyst of Grand Capital Company, Sergey Lin. And from the last news, yesterday was held the summit of European Parliament, and it actually has brought to us such positive news, such for example now the US dollar feels the pressure. So let's of course turn our regard to technical analysis of the main forex major pairs, and the first forex major will be euro analysis of euro and US dollar. So the 140 level and Ichimoku cloud resistance and 1.4084 on the weekly chart are now the focus, following the probe above 1.3960. And however, there is a lack of commitment, while 1.4084 remains a decisive hurdle for this euro rally, and key support at 1.7676 was tested and held on Wednesday, and this is the important level to break in order to create downside risk to 1.3652. And the weekly chart of euro and US dollar trend is of course bullish. And intraday analysis of US dollar and Japanese yen. Support at 75.94 is being challenged, and the push lower towards Wednesday's fresh all-time low at 75.70 is expected. The recently completed bear pennant continuation pattern on the daily chart indicates the direction of the dominant trend, and new lows towards 75.25 cannot be ruled out. A recovery above 76.33 is required to provide respite, and the weekly chart of US dollar trend versus Japanese yen is bearish. Intraday analysis of Great Britain pound versus US dollar. So the sharp recovery of 1.5881 brings resistance at 1.6041 back into focus, having kept key support at 1.5850 intact, and more Great Britain pound gains are expected to meet the minimum upside target at 1.6070. There is additional upside risk to 1.6211 and 1.6395 on a concerted strength. On the reversal below Wednesday's low at 1.5891 would extend downside consolidation towards 1.5850, and the weekly chart of Great Britain pound versus US dollar trend is bullish. Intraday US dollar versus Swiss franc. A lateral trading range between 0.8729 and 0.8860 has been created, finally, which is likely to remain the case during Thursday's session. However, the dominant trend remains to the downside, and a break below 0.8799 would extend the downtrend towards the wave equality target at 0.8645, and this target ties in with the previous higher action low, also at 0.8645, but only a clean break above projected resistance at 0.8860 would create room for gains to 0.8929, and the weekly chart of this US dollar versus Swiss franc trend is bearish. Intraday analysis of Australian dollar and US dollar. So let's look what we have here. So Australian dollar bulls have regained control and are within reach of meeting the minimum upside target at 1.0570. The recently completed bull pennant on the daily chart underpins the positive Australian dollar outlook, and there is scope for further gains to 1.0683 and the September 1 lower high at 1.0766. A setback below 1.0389 is required to expose Wednesday's low at 1.0322 again, and the weekly chart of Australian dollar and US dollar trend is bullish. Okay, let's finish with our major and turn our regard to fund areas. So what do we have here? Stocks 50, FTSE 100 and DAX. So they all have raised. For example, Stocks 50 has raised for about 6%, FTSE 100 has raised for 3%, and DAX has raised for about 5%. Energy were here. Brent has raised for about 2%. VTI has raised for about 3%. Industrial metals, Copper has raised for about 5%, and precious metals, okay, gold, not so seriously, just 0.09%, and silver has raised for about 1%. So we have such good positive news here, and let's finish for today, dear traders. Thank you for watching, and if you want, of course, to get additional information, analysis and something else, you can always visit our website www.grandcapital.net. It was me, financial analyst of Grand Capital Company, Sergey Lin. I wish you good luck and the fair trend. Goodbye.